2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Beat Off Script. My name is Brandino, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Mel and Bob, who are actually, funny enough, recording from similar studios right now. They're actually recording from the same place. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah, feeling good, feeling happy, enjoying the Tipsy Tune digs right now, and it's looking way better than what I usually have going on. So I'm a little jealous.
And you
previous guest and least well received co-host. Garrett / Tipsy Tune
That's right.
Studio. Yeah. There you go.
He's got a bar right over here. Like, he's got everything he needs to live life amazingly.
Except for apparently a good opinion on music, as per the comment section on YouTube.
True.
So
he sucks at that.
It was just
living
squid.
up there.
It was just squid.
Yeah.
But anyways, we've got a good episode coming up here today. We've got a couple of, we've got one of the most wild selection, I think, of singles that we've ever had to work with. I think this is,
There's some
it's all over the place. We're going to be snapping our necks pretty quickly, going back and forth between everything. But then we've got, on the album side, still a pretty eclectic look. We've got a little Brian Eno and BD Wolf with their second album of the year. With Liminal, we've got Silver Bleeds, The Black Sun, a little AFI, a little bit of I had no idea what they've been doing this whole time, and it turns out it is not the thing that I've known them for the whole time, which is super exciting.
Yeah,
and then we'd be pretty hard pressed to call ourselves music critics and not take a look at The Life of a Showgirl
I can't wait to
by Miss Taylor
everyone
Swift.
why she's awful.
Like.
Spoiler alert.
It's
what a
again. We kind of have to. We'd be so amiss to do that. But before we dive into everything, let's find out what have you guys been listening to the last little bit outside of what we've been covering.
Oh man, I guess I could start. I've been listening to. Because I'm terrible at noticing spelling, I've been listening to Luminol by Brian Eno. And man, Luminol is a damn good album. I had a good time listening to it. My review for that is going to be pretty similar to my review for Liminal, which we're going over at some point today. But yeah, it's very, very nice, very kind of music you want to listen to while you're working and or chilling, and it's just a real chill vibe. So I'm listening to that, but not a whole lot else going on in my life. So I'll move on to Mel. Mel, what have you been listening to?
I've actually been doing a pretty good job of actually listening to music. So I listened to the new Olivia Dean album, The Art of Loving, and I listened to the new Geese album, Getting Killed. I really liked both of those. Very different vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you gotten a chance to listen to them yet, Brandito, or no?
No, because I was locked into 12 hours of David Bowie. I can't give away everything. That was great. It was awesome, but it's 12 hours of David Bowie, and I maybe get a chance to listen to like 4 hours a day, like give or take. Plus, we've got like our recording stuff that I need to fit in there.
Yeah.
Plus, I've got an album group that we were listening to, which, funny enough, was like Hosier, the Hosier self-titled album, which was fantastic. Really appreciated that. And then we had Backstreet Boys yesterday, so I've had like no chance to actually like listen to any more albums outside of just trying to finish this David Bowie box set. But really cool box set, I will say.
Yeah. Well, I do highly recommend those two as far as recently releases go. And then because I was forced to listen to the new Taylor Swift album, I had to be a petty bitch and throw some love to my girl Charlie XCX. And I've had Brat, and then Brat, it's completely different, but also still Brat on repeat. Like on repeat. I want that bitch to hit the charts again.
I think I preferred the original album more than the remixes.
I do too.
In my opinion.
No,
that's just a personal opinion. But
I do too, but like I thought it was very impressive how much she switched up each track as like a follow up with the collabs. Okay, also her collab with Bon Iver obviously is I think better than that's the one feature that I'll say that's the better track in comparison. But other than that, as a whole, Brat itself is better by far.
It's one of those things. So because like in the album group, obviously somebody in my group had pitched Hosier, which is why I listened to the Hozier self-titled album and tried to introduce everybody to Hozier by playing him being featured on Northern Attitude.
Oh.
Which I was like, that's a weird way to introduce Hozier, first of all, because this is not his song. It's him being featured on Noah Kahan's album. Also, I kind of like it without Hozier more.
I do too.
Honestly, I like Hozier's voice is like so penetrating and like it just changes the vibe of the song so much. I don't know. I'm just.
I still like it, but I would rather listen to the original. And I feel the same way. I forget which one was the collab with Brandi Carlile. She was so jarring in comparison to Noah on her feature too. So those are also the two like Noah Kahan features where I was like, I wish you just stuck with the original. I can't believe I can't remember what the name was, but anyway.
You know what? The one thing that I will say, Post Malone did add a dimension to.
Dial Drunk? Duh.
Dial Drunk, yeah.
No, that's
really?
that's a vibe. That is such a vibe, Bob.
Yeah, because like like Noah Kahan is like he sounds so sweet that you don't feel like he's ever gonna get put in the back of a cop car. So like Post Malone being in a cop car, it's like that tracks.
Yeah,
like, that makes more sense.
That's
that
relatable.
Gives it some validity.
Yeah. That I think was the best. Yeah, the best feature as far as Noah Kahan's 6th season era goes by far. It was so good.
But just like these singles, we're already all the way off track. Let's.
Well, I'm always listening to Noah, so it kind of counts.
I know, 100%. Like I said, I'm always listening to David Bowie. It turns out because it's
a part-time job of David Bowie.
You know what? If somebody wants to find out all about, here's the thing too: is this is 12 hours of just David Bowie from 2002 till he passed. So like it's just new Bowie.
That's crazy.
I mean, live recordings of some stuff that happened since 2002 of his old stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're getting nothing out there, but like there's a couple songs they did with Arcade Fire that were fantastic, and I really like appreciated those. Like that was kind of cool. It is a really cool box set. If you really don't know who David Bowie is, like it would be worth just diving in. His Live at the Montreux disc, I think it's disc 2, is like just really, really engaging, a really cool live performance to listen to. Don't maybe necessarily listen to 12 hours, because if you're not like me, then
it would
you will
make me
hate
mad.
David Bowie.
Yeah, it would actually. I would listen to it sparingly, but because I just don't want him to be ruined for me, because it would ruin it for me.
100%.
It would feel like a chore.
Just disc 2 is still probably like 2.5 hours, but like it's a good, really solid 2.5 hours, and it's a live concert, so you're not going to get any doubles. You're not getting you're not getting any repeats. It's a concert. You know what I mean? So you can actually hear him engaging with the crowd. It feels like you're being engaged.
Yeah.
That is the nice part. So that's my take there. But yeah, like I said, let's get ourselves back on track with the track Attack.
Thank you for keeping us on track. Yeah. Anyway,
so off script of us. Yeah.
Right.
Well, up first, we have Days Like These by Luke Combs. And then for those of you who don't know who Luke Combs is, he's a country singer from North Carolina, best known for tracks like Beautiful Crazy, Forever After All, and his cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. He grew up singing at church and in school and decided to try his hand in music when he was in college. He snagged a record deal in 2016, 2 years after moving to Nashville, and followed that up with his debut album, This One's For You, which hit #1 on Billboard's top country albums chart. And now he has released 5 studio albums, has twice been named Entertainer of the Year at the CMA Awards, and has received 8 Grammy nominations. So, nice. Luke Combs.
Cool. Yeah, let's listen to Days Like These.
Yeah.
On days like these, when the sun shines bright, I feel like it's all gonna be alright. When the sky is blue and the grass is green, how much better can it be? If I got you and you got me, we got everything we need.
For the listeners, I found a lighter and was lifting the lighter as you would at a concert. You're welcome, listeners.
And for those of you who don't know what a lighter is anymore, it actually is a small flame that comes up. You're not allowed to bring them into concerts anymore. So
You just gotta use
what
your
you do
phone
with your
camera.
phone
Right.
flashlight, that's what you would do
Yeah,
with the lighter
right.
back before cell phones were a
Man, I
thing.
really aged myself with that reference. Holy shit.
Alright, I'll still pull out the lighter if I'm like at PNC lawn seats because I'm obviously smoking a joint in the crowd.
Obviously.
I'll still pull it out.
Yeah. What
But anyways, how do we feel about Luke Combs?
Well, it's like sweet. It's a simple guitar. His voice, I do like. I like it has a nice gravel to it that balances out his twang well, but it's like just pretty boring. Also, I think I need a little bit more than blue skies and green grass to feel like it's all going to be okay right now. But it's like a really cute concept. I'm just, a little too stressed for that to be enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grass is green, the sky is blue. This is like the boiled chicken of country, which is already boiled chicken in itself most of the time. Yeah, very, very simple. It's happy. I'll give it a point for being happy, but man, there's not a lot going on here for me.
I don't know. It's a really pretty song. I like Luke Combs a lot.
Yeah.
It's traditional
guy.
country. It's
It is
nice,
very
like
traditional.
Yeah.
it's like it has its spot. Like it's hard to be mad at traditional country. Like it's just
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm not gonna say it's groundbreaking. It's really not. I think it's a really nice kind of down to earth country song. It's not really designed to blow anybody away. It's kind of just there. He's a little bit more deconstructed than a lot of stuff, but like the way that country kind of goes in a lot of ways is they're always trying to find ways to like change it up, but it ends up sounding the same thing or falling flat. This is just, like I said, deconstructed down to earth country, and I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's mediocre, but it's at least charming. And
Yeah.
I can be really happy with just a charming song and it just being that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I agree. Yeah.
yeah.
It still just gets a 6.5 for me, just because it's just like it's cute, it's sweet. I just like
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to inevitably hear this as a first dance at a wedding, because it's got that exact vibe for a couple to
Is it
have.
gonna make it to your wedding?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well, listen, that might be Trin's decision, but it's a 6. It's a 6 for me. It's fine. I like it's happy. I agree, traditional country, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a 6-8. Like I said, honestly,
Okay.
traditional country, if you don't try to do too much with it and you just kind of keep it right down the alley,
Yeah, it's safe.
it's going to be like a 6 to a 7 pretty much
Yeah.
every single time. Like it's hard to find unpleasant. You know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
But
Nice and
Yeah.
safe.
that
Agreed.
takes us to people that I do actively find unpleasant a lot.
David Guetta or Teddy Swims?
Antones and I.
Oh, man, that's the
you
whole
hate
group.
them all.
All three of
Is
them.
it because of Dance Monkey?
Like, it's maybe one of the worst songs to chart in a decade.
I'll give you that. So yeah,
Man, is that song ever awful.
we've got quite the trifecta here with Gone, Gone, Gone. First up, we've got David Guetta. He's a French songwriter, producer, and DJ who began his career as a DJ in Paris in the 80s. I didn't know he's been around for that long. He achieved mainstream success with his 2009 album One Love, which had his hits When Love Takes Over and Getting Over You. And he's known for frequently collaborating with artists like Sia, Usher, Nicki Minaj, One Republic. The list just goes on and on and on. So I'm not
Oh yeah, One Republic.
yeah, I wanted to give them a little, our boy, a little shout out.
Mr. Tedder.
Mr. Tedder.
Up next, we have Teddy Swims, who we've previously covered, I believe, in episode 1, back when I didn't even do bios for people. And he's an American singer-songwriter known for blending R&B, soul, country, pop. He first gained fame through viral YouTube covers, like specifically his cover of Shania Twain's You're Still the One in 2019. By 2023, he had his breakthrough moment with his track Lose Control, and that was his first appearance on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was the lead singer from his debut album, I've Tried Everything But Therapy. Yeah. And then last but not least, Tones and I is an Australian singer-songwriter known for the viral song Dance Monkey. She first gained prominence through busking through Australia's East Coast in Byron Bay, eventually winning a busking competition. And yeah, now they've won multiple. I actually have no idea what they've done besides Dance Monkey. It's the only song I've heard by them. And now they've won multiple ARIA awards, including Breakthrough Artist and Best Female Artist, and has surpassed 10 billion streams because for some reason Dance Monkey just would not stop playing wherever he went. So that's them.
I just want to say these three people sounds like if you asked AI, like, who should I like put a song together to have collaborate? Like, this is what AI would put together.
Yeah. Soulless
But anyways,
AI. Yeah.
It's an interesting mix, though.
Let's listen to
We'll find out.
I had no idea that Tones and I was Dance Monkey because she literally doesn't sound like she sounds completely different here. I actually kind of appreciated her feature a lot. I liked her voice.
We'll get to my opinion.
Anyway, I think it's a fun little beat. I think Teddy Swims he's always had cool vocals. I like the way they sound together. I think it's not like an original beat by any means. I think it's something that could be done by almost anybody, but it's a vibe. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I completely forgot what the song sounded like at all until we heard that clip. So I think that says everything it needs to say. It's pretty forgettable for me. That being said, I right there listening to it again, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm bobbing my head a little bit. I'm having a good time. I don't know. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just cut, copy, paste.
Yeah.
Shit. It's
Agreed.
Just, like, I don't love Teddy. I hate Tones and I. David Guetta's whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's all the things I don't want. Yeah, you're right. Teddy has pipes. Guess what? He did the exact same thing that he's done for 2 albums in a row now. Sick. Love it. David Guetta is doing the same production that he always does. Oh, cool. Like, let's make things seem a little bit more manic than they need to, and like make it seem like it's edgy and stylistically in the same pocket that he always is. Like, it feels like Sam Smith and Disclosure copy and pasted over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's the same thing that every DJ and deep vocalist do over and over again. And then they threw Tones and I, which actually I will say big props to Tones and I. Tones actually sound pretty solid on this. I did not mind her part because she wasn't talking like a child. It was it was actually like she was kind of the highlight to this whole thing. But yeah, it was typical Teddy, typical David, surprised by Tones, but not quite enough to really salvage the song. There's also an extended version of this song.
Oh my God, is there?
Which seems dramatically unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Interesting.
No.
This was already felt long. Yeah.
But in case you're wondering how seriously they did take this.
Jeez.
That's a little
They
too
wrote
much.
basically something that's already been written a million times over in the last 2 decades. And then they were like, but like, what if people want to listen to that for a little bit longer? No, it's fine. We've been listening to it for the last 2 decades. Move on.
That's amazing.
Huh.
Wow. Well,
So,
score-wise, what do you think, Brandon?
Oh, I forgot that we had to score it.
it was like the song's okay. At the end of the day, it was a 6-2.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. I'm just annoyed.
I gave Luke Combs 6. And this perked me up a bit, but yeah, again, forgettable. I'm at like 6-1, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. I liked it a little bit more. It got a 6.8 for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but it was.
Yeah.
I would vibe to it if it came on. I'm not gonna go out of my way for it, but if it came on, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably.
That's what just happened to me. Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah. Perking up a little, but
Yeah, and I do
give her
really
props for that.
appreciate her feature. I thought I really liked her vocals a
she
lot.
carries, I think. She carries a lot of it, for sure.
Cool. On to the next one, Mel.
Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you all of a sudden.
I was muted.
Oh, that works. Cool.
Cool. On to the next one, Mel.
Classic.
All right, so Pretty Promises by Callie Uchis and Mariah the Scientist. So Callie, we covered back on episode 9 when we covered her album Sincerely, she's a she's a Colombian American singer, songwriter, producer, director, and fashion designer who's known for genre blending R&B, soul, hip hop, and Latin influences, and her bilingual vocals. She showed interest in music and art at a young age, learning to play sax and piano at school, and often skipping class to make experimental short films. Shortly after graduating and getting kicked out of her home, she released her debut mixtape Drunken Babble in 2012, which was described as genre-defying, and then this led to her working with artists like Diplo, Tyler the Creator, Snoop Dogg, Gorillaz, and eventually the release of her debut studio album Isolation in 2017. She now has 5 studio albums, has won a Grammy, and received 5 Latin Grammy noms. Then for Mariah the Scientist, she is an R&B singer-songwriter from Atlanta who first started writing music while attending St. John's University on a biology scholarship, which is why she put the scientist in her name. She released her first EP on SoundCloud in 2018, leading her to be discovered by Canadian rapper Tony Lanez. He became a mentor figure and took her on tour while she prepped for her debut album, Master, which released in 2019. And she now has 3 studio albums and has performed at festivals like Coachella and Rolling Loud, and has collaborated with Young Thug, Lil Baby, Future, and now Callie for a second time. Yeah.
Cool. Let's listen to some Pretty Promise.
Never ever do a thing like that. Pretty promises I won't take back, 'cause I would never ever do a thing like that. I would never ever do a thing like that. If I gave my word, I can't go back, 'cause I would never ever do a thing like that. Up in the sky, I found a star to wish on, so I prayed angels would send someone love for me to kiss on, Promises you made of tomorrow and so on.
All you ladies pop that pussy like that. It works.
You're right, it does.
It works.
So nice we heard it twice. I love that.
Yeah.
So is that your
Keep going, Mel.
is that your your analysis, Mel? Yeah, anyways. I thought this was a bop. I like this a lot. It's very, very dreamscapey, dream poppy, as a lot of her songs tend to be. I think it fits right in with the album she released. As I understand, this was released as like an extension of her current album, correct? Or
Yeah, it
most
was
recent
part of-
album. Yeah. So she's got 4 songs out from that. Yeah, very nice. Very good. I gonna put this out there. Trin listened to this with me in the car, and she did say, "Man, that production is really loud. It's hard to hear her lyrics," which has always been my argument for Callie Uchis. But both ladies sound amazing. I think the mix is honestly pretty good in this. So yeah, good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a fan of it. I thought it was really pretty. I like the texture she creates with her vocals. I think it's really, really cool. She sounds very unique to me. But yeah, I was a big fan. I liked this track a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't like it.
No, I mean, this like kind of underwater filter thing that they were doing it's super unique. I can kind of appreciate it to that point. I thought it was really repetitive in its lyricism, very repetitive, which just kind of was. I felt like there was a bit of a lack of the dimension on the backtrack. I honestly feel like it was really just kind of that filter, and they were just kind of running with that. Like, there wasn't a whole lot there, and if the backtrack can have a little bit more dimension, I was going to be a lot more okay with it.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really. I think it was really just kind of banking on that filter to sit back there and that same kind of melody just over and over again, which, like, I get, like, going down, like, a post R&B kind of way, but after, like, listening to an album like Nourished by Times, The Passionate Ones, that, like, launched in August, like, this is just not even close to the same level of post R&B that I think it deserves. I think that the album did so much more and a lot better with the backtrack than they did on this track. I don't think this is up to the same standard as what the album was at all. And I don't know if that's just kind of a little bit more on the production side of things, like if they have a different production team on this in particular.
I liked this more than most of the album, but
because you're basic.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
it's like, maybe it also just wasn't like, maybe I was kind of taken out of the album eventually because it was just like, I agreed with Bob a little bit with the production, and maybe it just wasn't as jarring to me this time around, where I don't know, I actually thought this was way more, I don't know, pleasing. Interesting.
I think what you just described is I prefer things to be more basic.
Fair.
Or I want things to be bite-sized. And I think that is just a bad way to look at it. Because, like, the project front to back, I think the project is an important part of everything. But again, what they did was a lot more complex than just kind of throw a filter over a melody as a backtrack. I think that this was just this was... It just left a lot on the table from what I've obviously just heard Kali Uchis do, which had a far more engaging production style throughout the whole.
I still thought it was
record.
too busy, though.
That's kind of the point,
Fair,
right? You just start removing pieces out of it and still call it a completed, a completed piece. It kind of ruins it. It kind of took me out of the dreamscape because it's just does not. Okay. It's not what she had already created for me. Is what I was hoping for out of Kali Uchis. So this one was a miss for me.
Really checks out that we would have opposite opinions now on the single too, because we were kind of at war with each other over the album.
100%.
I think the simplicity helps Kali Uchis because you can hear. I think that's where the talents lie. She's an amazing singer, and I think there's a lot of that going on in the song, and I think it is highlighted better than the album was. But
the style and the genre is worse exemplified on this than it was before, and why I like that album so much is because I think it's genre defining.
That's fair.
This is kind of falling into just okay dreamscape chamber pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is okay dreamscape chamber pop, but I just heard her do something that was defining the genre, not just falling into kind of suit with it. You know?
This is your boiled chicken of dreamscape.
100%.
I gave this a 7. I liked it. It's just not my favorite, but I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
No, what do you think?
I gave it a 7/8. I liked it.
Yeah.
That was
like I said, I didn't hate it. It's still a 6.4 for me, but just super. This album for me was like a 9.6. So this felt really disappointing.
I was expecting. I honestly pulled this specifically because that album was so big for you, and it wasn't technically a single, but it was like a new release. And I was like, I feel like we got to talk about Kali again if she's pumping out more shit.
Yeah, no, this one just
crazy.
The production style on this one just it took a back seat. And again, you got to remember too, like there was a post R&B album that may be one of the best post R&B albums I've ever heard that dropped 2 months ago, which has changed a lot of things in a lot of ways for me.
So would you go back and change your rating of that Kali album?
No. This, because of the way that they took more pieces out of this, it started to kind of move into post R&B for me. Right, because they took away some of those bedroom poppy kind of sounds that I think kind of really made the album so engaging. right? So this
Okay.
bordered closer to post R&B because you started to deconstruct things a lot more, which then I'm thinking the whole time I'm thinking about the Passionate Ones, because if you haven't listened to the Passionate Ones, you need to. It was, that is also genre defining. It was a remarkably cool album.
By Callie?
No. That by Nourished by Time. It dropped in August.
Okay.
Okay.
Unbelievably cool album.
Okay.
But, yeah.
That,
Well,
I'll
there you go.
listen to it for next recording.
That was a far more interesting conversation about Callie than I thought we'd have. Yeah.
I
like
know.
that.
I was expecting this to be like, yeah, Bernardino loves it. We still liked it. Anyway,
No.
you're a star.
Yeah.
I hate myself today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, you're a star by Fred Again and Amyl and The Sniffers.
Fred Again.
Fred. So Fred Again is a British producer, singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist and DJ who's probably best known for his 2023 single Rumble with Skrillex and Flodan. That's an A, not an O. He got his start at the age of 16 when he joined an a cappella group at his neighbor's London studio, his neighbor being Brian Eno. I thought that was so interesting. And then this led him to working with Eno and Carl Hyde on their 2 project albums, Someday World and High Life, as a co-producer and songwriter. And then, yeah, I didn't write anything else for him, so I guess that's all I found interesting. Then Amyl and The Sniffers is an Australian pub rock and punk band made up of vocalist Amy Taylor, drummer Bryce Wilson, guitarist Declan Mertens, and bassist Gus Romer. In Australia, poppers are called Amyl, or I think I'm saying Amyl, I don't know, which is the inspo for their name. They were quoted saying, if you sniff it, it lasts for 30 seconds and then you have a headache. And that's what we're like, which I thought was fucking hilarious. And their sound has been compared to Iggy Pop and the Stooges, and they've opened for bands like Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day.
Cool.
Let's listen to You're a Star.
Yeah.
You're a star.
One, never been a dull one, always been a big star, always been a big one. Hey, you're a lit one, always been a big star, never been a dull one. You wanna get out of here?
It's a fun beat, but it's just so repetitive that I just get over it really quick.
This was a very interesting song. I felt like it was all over the place. I couldn't really get settled into any piece of it because it kept like diving in and out of like of the drum beat and the vocals and I couldn't really it never really stuck with me. Like I felt like I kept trying to enjoy the song and I never got to that point. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Brandon can tell me what it is, but
Why that was your reaction?
Why couldn't I settle into the song? I just don't know. I couldn't.
Well, it's dance music.
Yeah.
It's,
I can
that's-
I don't know. I didn't feel the rhythm as much as I would normally. I think that's it. I didn't feel rhythm, I guess.
I mean, it's not like it's electronic music, so like it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily need that. It's like it has a very Prodigy kind of beat to it, which
Really
I kind
does.
of appreciated. Like right off the, I do like that. It's kind of what you would expect from Fred Again. Honestly, I've listened to lots of Fred Again, and every single time I kind of feel the exact same way that you're feeling, where it's like nothing really ever blows me out of the water. But I know that he's historical in terms of what he's produced, because there is a demographic of people that just love this style of music, these hyper break beats, like this kind of feel. Amyl and the Sniffers is like kind of a weird take to like have as a background over this like super dancey beat, but I was like kind of cool with it. Like that's neat. I like that.
It was
one.
kind of a cool contrast. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
It was. I was waiting for the song to do me dirty the whole time. It never did.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a big drop, and it kind of like there is a drop, but it wasn't as dirty as I was hoping it would be, based on how, again, prodigal everything sounded from like the get-go. So like never really got that. I hate songs with lots of sirens. That
Same.
Yeah.
annoys the hell out of me, and it was just sirens kind of the whole time.
Yeah.
I found at the very end, everything kind of started to come together, which I thought made it kind of a cool track. It took the long way there, though, and it's hard for me to want to sit down and listen to it again because of that. Honestly, like, I was pretty, like, I think entertaining. I'd be more likely to listen to this again than anything else we've listened to so far.
Interesting.
I don't agree. I liked the Uchis more.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
At least there's lots
Yeah.
happening here. Like, there's
Definitely a lot happening.
yeah.
To its detriment, in my opinion. But yeah, like, but it does it's interesting. It's an interesting song. I don't know that it's sonically pleasing to me. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, man?
I wasn't too mad at it. I gave it a 7.2 because I still like thought it was fun. I don't know. I just never fully really embraced it, or like, I thought it was like very repetitive, which makes sense again for dance music, but it's just not really my vibe.
Yeah. The comparison to Prodigy helps me a little bit because I do like Prodigy. It's just I never settled in. I'm just a 6.2 for this, and maybe if I listen to it a few more times and let it grow on me, that would go up. But here we are.
Yeah. I was a 7.3.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
All right.
I was a 7.3. And that, I'm like pretty comfortable with it. I'd listen to it again. Wouldn't spend like crazy amounts of time on it, but I'd listen to it again.
Fair enough.
All right.
Cool.
Cool. So up next we have the Manifesto by Gorillaz, Trueno, and Proof.
We sure do.
So Gorillaz are a British virtual hip hop band formed in 1998 by Damon Albarn and graphic artist Jamie Hewlett. And they're probably best known for their hit Feel Good Inc., which snagged them a Grammy. They're known for their animated characters, Murdoch, Noodle, and Russell. And they mix genres like rock, hip hop, electronic music, fun stuff. And then most recently, the collabs with Fortnite, and they were the most recent Battle Pass, which I thought was really fun.
The Gorillaz were really?
Having their little like animated characters in the game is such a vibe.
Interesting.
Super fun collab.
Yeah.
Then up next we have Trueno, who's a rapper, singer, and songwriter from Argentina who's known for his rap battles. He won the Red Bull Batalla de los Gallos in 2019, which is the Battle of the Roosters.
I was gonna say, isn't that the place in Breaking Bad that Never mind.
Is it? I haven't seen Breaking Bad in so long.
I'm just making a bad
you're just
joke.
being a dick.
Yeah, I'm being a dick.
Because of the chicken guy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Poco Los something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Los Gallos or something. Anyways, don't worry about that. Keep going.
So he's a prominent figure in Latin urban music and often focuses on themes of social justice, identity, and cultural pride. And he's probably best known for his tracks Mommy Chulo, Dance Crypt, and Real Gangsta Love. And then we have Proof, who's a rapper from Detroit, who was also a member of the groups Five Elements, Funky Cowboys, Promatic, Goon Squad, and D12. He was a close friend of Eminem's and was often a hype man at his concerts, and he was close to his breakthrough moment before he was gunned down in 2006. He left behind 2 solo LPs, including the critically acclaimed Searching for Jerry Garcia. So this confused me because I'm assuming he's on here because they sample him at some point. But anyway, that's our bios.
Yeah, that's for sure the reason that he's on here. But
I
anyways,
just don't know him that well, so I couldn't pick out what exactly was his feature or not.
Yeah, I'm curious to figure out what you actually clipped here, because there's zero chance you got all of them.
No, there's so much, and I was gonna hit you with 2, but I was like, nah, we're just gonna.
Let's listen.
Yo no sé qué va a pasar mañana. Yo no sé. No entiende la luz que me llama. A mí mi futuro me reclama. Camino hacia la luz. Camino. I have nothing to lose. Camino hacia la luz. Yo camino hacia la luz. The mountain it is high. Yeah, the mountain sad, so the mountain cry. Thank God the rainy day. The mountain stays on still. Don't lose yourself. If you don't stop now, then you're never gonna be done living under your gilded sun.
kind of a vibe.
Los Polos Hermanos is the name of the chicken shop. Very
I
important
had
that we
to
talk
find
about that.
it. That is definitely not Batalla de los Gallos, Bob.
Yeah. I just hear Spanish words. I'm like, it's that, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Man, you're fucked for the Super Bowl. Huh? Anyway.
I've never heard of Bad Bunny. I've loved this song, honestly. I loved all the different places this song took us. It was a journey. And it's a 7-minute plus long song. There's a lot going on. We got a proof feature in here. He's rapping. He's having a good time. I think the Gorillaz don't come in well early in the song, but when the song like starts to wind down, like I love their part in the song. Yeah, I love the vibe. I was bobbing my head the whole time. I was having a good time with the song in general, and like I think this is my favorite of the singles we are talking about this week.
I would agree with that take, actually. I thought this was a lot of fun. I liked how it was like a full experience.
It
like
really
they
was.
take us on a full trip. I do really appreciate that Gorillaz does that. I feel like they take a back seat without taking a back seat because it's still so prominent, and they like, but I guess they just really let Trueno like pop off early on. I really love that beat that's happening in the beginning. It's just such a vibe. Yeah, this was fun. This was a fun track.
Yeah, this is super cool. I love the Gorillaz, so I mean, this was always going to be something I was going to be excited about.
Yeah.
7 minutes. It starts off kind of tacky, which honestly isn't
Agreed.
a crazy thing for Gorillaz. You got to remember their initial breakthrough hit was because of a beat they found on a Casio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like. They're cool with experimenting with just strange things and hoping it works out, and they seem to find a way to make it work. And this is no different. It builds on itself over time for the first verse. Then they get their over-filtered vocals that are pretty typical of them into there for like a second verse, which is a change up, and it's crazy unique. You get the 16-bit beat in Spanish, and like I've never heard those things be put together before. Classic Gorillaz vocals on it, and then you get a complete change up where it flips entirely over to a dirty trap beat. You get the rap verse. Just a complete change up from everything. It's a roller coaster. It's nuts. I genuinely I can't explain it really enough other than to get people to just listen to it.
Yeah.
Spend the 7.5 minutes and just like
Go on a trip.
Yeah. It's a journey.
Yeah.
go for it. It's a really, really cool track though. I don't think there's a really moment when it feels like it has a lull. It loses some consistency, but like outside of that, like what does it matter? It's engaging for the full 7 minutes, which is not an easy thing to do on a 7-minute track.
It's engaging, and I didn't want it to end at that. By the time it was ending, I'm like, oh man, I want more. And that's crazy to say about a 7-minute track.
100%.
Yeah. I personally, I gave this a 9. I was having a great time with this. I really liked it. Yeah. It was one of my favorite singles we've reviewed in a while.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I gave it just a solid 8, but yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I give it an 8.9. I was way
Hot.
bigger on it too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
I don't know why
boys.
you hate things that are fun.
I didn't hate it. I just like,
But it's fun.
I don't know. I still really liked it.
Oh,
I
it's not
No,
sad.
you
It's
just-
not sad
you-
enough for
you-
our sad girl.
You
I do
hate
love-
fun. It's fine. It's cool.
That is not my. That is not my.
Brandito flipping the
personality.
script. I love this.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It seems like in this episode,
Yeah.
don't worry about the other 19 episodes, folks. This is the most important
Mel,
one.
we all know Mel is the fun hater in this
Brandito.
group.
Mel
Yeah.
is the
most fun.
antithesis of fun.
They call her Captain Fun because of how fun she's not.
Speaking of fun,
Fun, she's not. Lamb of God is super fun. And so is Sepsis.
Who doesn't love Sepsis?
So yeah,
probably Mel. She hates fun.
So yeah, next we have Sepsis by Lamb of God. Lamb of God is an American heavy metal band formed in Virginia in 1994. They were originally formed under the name Burn the Priest. Their current lineup consists of vocalist Randy Blythe, guitarist Mark Morton, and Willie Adler, bassist John Campbell, and drummer Art Cruz. And they're considered a major part of the new wave of American heavy metal, and they're best known for like their groove metal sound. Yeah, they're metal. Let's just
cool.
play the clip. I don't have much else to say about that.
Sure, thanks, Mel.
That's a vibe. What a way to end.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's pretty fucking badass, though. And the instrumentals carry. His voice is pretty sick, though. Very, very gravelly, or not growly is what I was going for. I do appreciate that you can still kind of, like, you can hear the vocals, though. I really don't like it when in heavy metal, like, it just, everything gets, like, overpowered. I thought this had a good balance. Yeah. I don't see how often it's going to fit in my life, but I'm in.
Yeah. This is vintage Lamb of God. I mean, it fits in so well with everything else they've done. I'm a metal guy. I love this. I was having a good time with this. Unlike certain other bands we're going to cover today, I think they stick to their roots, and they do it well. They're fantastic. I had a good time.
Yeah. So honestly, this was kind of an annoying one for me.
Really? Oh man.
It was. You had this dirty opening riff. I think my biggest frustration was this song kind of has two parts. The opening part for me didn't feel like Lamb of God. It was very sludge metal-y, and I don't think that they play well as like a sludge. It was a little bit more into like that, like I said, a sludge metal kind of vibe for me that I wasn't a big fan of. Once the solo hits, once you get that solo riff, the back half of the song is quintessential Lamb of God, which I loved. It was a lot more metalcore, and that was kind of what I was looking for the whole time. The opening part, I'm not saying it was bad, just like it didn't.
I agree that I liked the back half more, but I couldn't have explained to you why.
It was a lot more sludgy, a lot slower pace, and I was kind of like really waiting for it to kind of get up to like a little bit more of like a hardcore tempo so that I could find my Lamb of God in there. Yeah. And it didn't really get there because I don't think his vocals worked so well on the sludge metal side of things. Not that it was bad, just not as good as what I know Lamb of God can do, which is kind of what I was hoping for. So they kind of saved it at the very end for me. Just, it was 50% of the song that I really enjoyed. The other 50% I could have kind of done with or without. You know?
Interesting.
So I ended up kind of hitting it. I hit it at 6.7.
No shit. Wow. I get that take. I get that. I love. We've talked about this before in the podcast. I love the slow to fast and the I love the tempo changes. I love that it kind of builds up. That's one of my favorite things about metal. I know Lamb of God doesn't normally do that, but I feel like that. I thought they did it well. I had a great time. I gave this an 8.5.
Yeah. It's up your alley.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I struggle to rate something like this because, like I said, I appreciate it, and I did think it was pretty badass. I did prefer the back half more, but I just don't know how often I would ever, it's going to come back into my life. But I still gave it a 7.5 because I thought it was pretty sick. But, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Cool. Nice. There you go.
Right, well, that wraps up the track attack, everybody. Thanks so much for kicking around with us. Make sure that you pop back and check out our albums from this last episode and just, previous episodes before that. We appreciate it. Let us know in the comments what were we wrong about, what were we right about. Make sure that you keep us informed. We want to hear from you. But yeah, look forward to seeing you guys. My name is Brandito. I'm with Bob and Mel.
Hi.
This is On Beat Off Script with another track attack.
Hell yeah.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.